My dad bought me lobsters for my birthday lunch. I've decided to cook them down in water until all the flavors come out of them so I can make some lobster bisque, and I'm going to be canning some of that lobster stock. I'll show you how to can it. So here's the lobster stock I cooked down for 12 hours yesterday with the lemon juice and Old Bay and a little vinegar. I have it heating up now so I can fill the jars and then pressure can it. And I'll show you that process in a minute. This is the pressure canner I'm using. Unfortunately, when I bought it, I thought it was the induction, and it's not. So I had to buy a adapter for it to work on my induction stove. But I use the wobble to set to a pressure of 10. I'm sanitizing my jars by boiling them. We're almost there. When it gets to a boil, I'll boil them for 10 minutes. And my liquid's hot. So whenever the jars are ready, I can start canning it. So for the pressure canner, you put one of these racks at the bottom. And the Presto instructions say to fill it with 3 quarts of water. Take the canner over the stove. I would love a 6-foot stove. 3 foot's not cutting it for this job. So, I like to start by heating that water up since everything else is hot and boiling. I get that started ahead of time. Previously this month, I started with some fire roasted cherry tomatoes. Normally I de-seed and de-skin my tomatoes, but with the cherry tomatoes it was just more annoying, so I left that in, and it actually tastes good. And then I did some rabbit bone broth. Here's today's harvest of tomatoes. I'll be making into something canned, not sure what. Okay, so I'm going to take the boiling jars out of the water. This is my jar lifter. They were all washed before they went away last year. Just boil them to make sure they're sanitized. Sometimes I'll run them through my dishwasher instead if I have a lot of jars. Put my dishwasher on sanitize. Key to have your glass not break on you is put hot liquid in hot jars when it goes in the canner. Less likely to have your canned goods explode in the canner. All right. Now I'm going to fill my jars using the jar funnel, the ladle. I'm going to leave an inch headroom, which means I'm going to go right to the bottom of the neck. All right, now I'll be taking some vinegar, wiping off the rims, make sure there's no lobster stock where the seal's gonna be. Now I'm putting the seals on. They have a rubber gasket. And you put the rings on. You want to do them hand tight, but not too tight, or you're more likely to have your lids buckle. I'm going to tighten those just a tad bit more, but not too tight, and then we'll put them in the canner. Okay, the Presto canner fits 7 quarts, so that's what we have here. I'm going to use my jar lifter to fill it. One. Take my other rack and put it on top. So it looks like that. Finally, we're going to put the lid on, shut it to lock it. Gonna let it come to temperature. This is gonna pop up. The steam's gonna come out. You're gonna want it to vent for 10 minutes of steam before you put the weight on it. And then we're gonna process for 25 minutes at 10. All right, thank you for joining me.